Hello there, how are you today? We're going to talk to you about language. The science of language is pretty well fixed. And the question is, do you understand the words of the scientist? The language of science is rather narrow and pretty restricted. And the language of chemistry is restricted. And if you don't know the language, you cannot convey truth in expression. So therefore, over the years, lots of different scientists try to tell us things that we don't know, and they have to think of new words. About 100 years ago, Michael Faraday, a young 12-year-old, dropped out of school and started to work for a well-known chemist in the British Empire. And Michael Faraday, over the years, from about 1812 to 1912, has influenced lots of people. Many, many people who are the keepers of the language in medicine, the medical profession, for example, or other forms of organized thinkers who use words to convey an idea. And out of Michael Faraday's works has come the word zeta potential, Z-E-T-A potential, which means the electrolytes of human plasma have the potential to make us well or to make us sick. They have the potential to make us clot or make us disperse. And so we've developed words to determine some forms of expression that convinces us that we are rather scientific in our work. Now, Michael Faraday has probably done more to change my way of thinking than all the teachers that I've had in medical school before or since. And I'm not to knock either one, I'm simply saying that I like his language. And when he taught me zeta potential, he taught me how chemistry behaves in solution in the bloodstream to produce life, to produce wellness, or to produce illness. And these languages are very emphatic. So the word zeta potential to me means the ability of the human body to clot when we bleed, if it's pathological, or the ability of the human body to disperse and make things flow, make blood flow easily to carry the nutrients of the human bloodstream to the different organs to perform and to do the things that we call life. Now, zeta potential to me is probably the most important information that I've learned as a physician. Lots of physicians have heard about it, but have not done much with it for reasons of their own like, and we all are individual, and we do what we want to do because of what we want to do. And we are physicians because we've been through the schools that are legislative sound, legislatively accurate, at least as far as the organization is concerned. And I'm not here to tell you how to practice medicine. I'm here to tell you what zeta potential has done for me. I was born in 1914. I'm 95 years old, and I have as many as maybe 50,000 to 300,000 patients around the country, and as a matter of fact, from all over the world, who come to see a way about wellness. The pursuit of zestal wellness to me is the most important human effort. And those two words to me represent a very powerful influence in my life. And so when I learn about zeta potential, I learn about the electrolytes of human plasma. Now there's a word that you may not know about, an electrolyte. What is an electrolyte? It is a chemical of the human body coming from one of 19 essential chemical components of human blood if you are in health. And when you get in disease as opposed to ease, you have modified the zeta potential of the ability of the blood to flow as in fluidity, or the ability of the blood to be slow in movement as in clotting. So as far as I'm concerned, and you have every right to disagree with me, but as far as I'm concerned, every major disease named in the language of medicine is a change in the fluidity of the red cells, the white cells, and the platelets, the formed elements of human plasma. Now those are words that you have to be familiar with, or you won't be able to carry on a conversation to understand what we talk about when we say electrolyte imbalance. And if you don't know the electrolytes of human plasma, as I said before, they come from proteins, from fats, from carbohydrates, from vitamins, from minerals, and from water. Now those are the 6 major sources of fuel that give you and me electrolytes to perform whatever it is our intention. Now, intention means rehearsal first, and then you learn, and you repeat and repeat until you get a conditioned reflex, and now you're able to use your muscles and become a good athlete, or a good musician, or a good talker, or whatever, because you have learned through rehearsal how to supply the energy, and we call that energy zeta potential. The way to measure that energy is measured by zeta potential. If you have high zeta potential, you have high amounts of anions. Anions are responsible for movement. They excite. Whereas the contrary, the opposite, is the cation. And those are the drugs that are the chemicals that in the inorganic state, meaning in the electrical state, they now are controllable as you learn and rehearse. And you can kick a football, you can shoot a basket, you can drive a golf ball, or whatever it is you rehearse and learn to do. And the chemistry of the body is the thing that makes it happen. Nothing happens without some chemistry. And the chemistry of the electrolytes of human plasma are all, 19 of them are all either anionic, which means excitable, or they're cationic, which means they are clottable. And sometimes you desire clotting, sometimes you don't. In my own personal thinking, based on Zivic's work, I believe that the commonest thing that is found in every disease, everything opposed to ease, is almost always too many cations. That's just personal opinion based on years of practice. And many, many physicians who think this way can get themselves well. People ask me almost daily, are you really 95 years old? Well, how do you do this? Well, I learned to keep me from clotting when there's no reason to clot. And the only reason there is for clotting is to slow down the flow of blood, especially if it's exposed to the open and you're bleeding. You're bleeding. So the word dis-ease really is, as opposed to ease, has pretty well established itself in my mind as being cause. More problems occur in illness to me when there is electrolyte imbalance. There is electrolyte imbalance. These 19 electrolytes, which come from proteins, fats, carbohydrates, vitamins, minerals, and water, they are overloaded and become too many, too much, too clotting when there's no need to clot.